The Fantasy Football Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get started today. We're also brought to you by Bird Dog Shorts. The world's greatest shorts are hooking you up with a free Yeti-style tumbler when you order over at birddogs.com/pool. That's birddogs.com/pool. D-Gens assemble. Welcome to Fantasy Football Heroes and Villains. I am your host, Justin Bruni. Joining me as always is my co-host and partner, Andrew, the TD King, Rob. And joining us tonight, our headliner from the SGPN Dynasty channel, we've got Mr. Dave Heilman. You can find him on Twitter at Dynasty Dorks. How are we doing, sir, gentlemen?
I'm doing great. 2 articles came out today, so I'm kind of ripe for a little bit.
Right on, right on. Andrew, how you doing, sir?
Great as always, man. About to get sweaty. Love it. Been looking forward to this all day. You know, I know that they want us to do this to get the heartbeat, the heart pumping and stuff. But man, does this really help your mental as well? Looking forward to getting a little sweaty and doing a little cardio. It helps the mental, it helps the physical body, and of course, now we get to draft for $3 million.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna get after it here. Dave, have you been doing any best ball drafts? Is this your first? Are we popping your cherry?
Yeah, this is the first one.
I love it.
Just taking a break from it, and this is my first one.
All right, awesome, man. We're very excited. I'm gonna peek my head in the draft room in just a second. Nobody touched their phones just yet. I need to take the lock off this bike and get pedaling. I see you guys already getting a jump start on me here, so I'll see if I can catch up per usual. I am gonna peek my head in now. I have not loaded the double amount down. 7 left. Go ahead. Jump in.
All right.
7 left. 6 left.
I am in with 6. Yep.
5 left.
We are doing the Best Ball Mania 4.
Yes.
By the way.
Yeah. Oh, the keynote there. I think Dave caught that earlier.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm good. All right. There's 5 left, right?
Yep.
Yes,
that's
sir.
us. So we are in the same draft. Very, very good. Very good. Dave, always a good conversation to start this off is, who's some big targets for you? Who are you looking at maybe at a little bit of value, maybe some Dave Heilman, my guys segment here.
Yeah. I mean, I just did my bounce back episode. And so, not episode, article. And so one of the things that, as far as running backs, I think there's a lot of running backs that you can get later on that might be perceived as RB2s that might be able to carry your team, and you can stack up those receivers early. So David Montgomery is one. I think he's behind the best offensive line he's had. And if he gets the Jamal Williams role, I don't expect 17 touchdowns, but you could easily see, about 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. And, maybe get a little receiving work. But, I think that David Montgomery's interesting. Dalvin Cook, we'll see where he flies. He might be under the radar right now with his situation. Just put a video out on YouTube. Go check it out. Put your prediction. Call your shot before he lands somewhere.
What's your best shot?
Well, the best odds right now are Miami. I think that's a really good one. But the Broncos are one I'd look at. Sean Payton is definitely not afraid to print money. And he was doing it in New Orleans. He's now doing it in the Denver Broncos. We had Zach Stevens on the show, the beat reporter. He said that they did talk to Kareem Hunt before the draft and after the draft. So they are looking to possibly add somebody. Samaje Perine is projected to have the most production out of that backfield. And that tells me they could possibly be adding somebody. But I put a dark horse out there on the YouTube is Dallas Cowboys. Nobody behind Tony Pollard coming off a major injury. They do have Tony Pollard down for about almost 300 touches, which is way more than he's ever received. I know it's a contract year. Mike McCarthy wants to roll it back to 2007 and run the ball. He's going to need another running back, not named Ronald Jones.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I like Deuce Vaughn, but I feel like you're right. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity there. We're about to get the draft started here. I am on the clock. 1-1, baby. Just found out. Just picked up
in
the phone.
10 picks. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm sitting at the 5 spot. Bruni, you're obviously in the 1, and Dave in the 11 spot. I like that spot.
Any familiar faces?
Any
friends? Any family? I don't see.
I don't see any unless Mike Robb is in here and we just don't recognize his name.
Z Carter. I don't know.
Nope. Well, we got Mike Robb in the chat asking, do you guys put any volume into the puppy 1 or 2? And if so, do you have any specific strategy? I'm just not that built, in the bankroll just yet. So I'm sticking to the best ball 4.
Yeah, I mean, I have entries into both of them, not like substantial entries, but I don't really change up my draft per se. If anything, with those $5 ones, I'll get a little bit more loosey-goosey with them and not be so involved with making sure that there's enough stacks and that there's correlation and all that. I'll kind of just go off the board and figure out, just pick best player available sometimes. So I don't really change my strategy, but I'm not as rigid with those.
Agreed. I'm gonna take a few more liberties. That's for certain.
Yeah. I'll try different strategies.
Can you go through the settings for this real quick?
Yeah. So it's half point PPR. Every week, starting lineup would be 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, and a tight end. There's also a flex position as well. Yeah, I mean, it's 4 points for passing touchdowns, 6 points for all other touchdowns. That's pretty much it. Justin, am I missing anything? Week 1 through 14, regular season, 15, 16, 17 are the playoffs. I think that's it.
So if you do have any schedule correlation off the top of your head that you know of, big ones that we know of for week 17, what was it? The Lions and the Cowboys, the Bengals and the Chiefs will play each other that week.
Yep. Denver Chargers could be a sneaky one.
Yep.
So you kind of want to correlate some of that because a lot of people are looking at this as I think there's 400 and something entries, final entries if you make it to week 17. So everyone's playing it as if it's a big DFS concert or a concert, contest. So I mean, it's
like a concert. We're making music, baby.
I guess. So I mean, that's why people are trying to do the week 17 correlation. Is obviously you want to kind of get a little bit specific with DFS lineups in there.
So yeah, it would definitely be on brand for the Dynasty guy to go Bijan Robinson right here at the first, with the first pick. But I'm gonna take Garrett Wilson.
Nice,
I like it. Nice. I like it. I was doing some Garrett Wilson loving on one of my latest articles. Took his over 8.5 touchdowns, plus money. He had 4 with Joe Flacco, Mike White, Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
Matt Strevelier. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Strevler.
Yeah, sure. That guy.
Yeah, Strevler.
So what do you guys make of all this Diggs talk? Missing OTA stuff here. I mean, is it anything or?
No, I thought they said something that he's going to be there for minicamp. No problem. He's in Buffalo. He's healthy.
Well, then why did McDermott came out today and said he's very concerned that he's missing?
Oh, interesting. Must have missed that. I saw some tweet not that long ago that said like he's in Buffalo, he's committed to Buffalo. I don't know. Must have just breezed over me.
He was there today or yesterday, one of the 2 days or both of them, but he left before practice actually started. So
interesting.
Obviously, he signed a long-term deal last year, so I don't think it's anything to do with the contract. If anything, I think it's something more or less to do with the team. I mean, last time we saw Diggs, he was throwing his hands up at Allen, in their playoff loss. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think he misses. I don't think he holds out. I don't think he demands a trade, but it is interesting.
Well, and Buffalo put themselves in a weird spot by, they spent some money and now they can't really afford DeAndre Hopkins and, and they could probably make some moves to make it work. But, Diggs wants some security. He's getting a little bit older, but I'm just looking at that depth chart. It's pretty weak. If you look at the Buffalo Bills compared to the rest of the AFC, their number 2 is Gabriel Davis. Number 3 is Khalil Shakir. If you don't, unless Dalton Kincaid is your number 3, they missed out on those rookie receivers. it would make sense for them to get DeAndre Hopkins to take some pressure off the Diggs.
It sounds like D-Hop wants at least somewhat of a decent deal, though, right?
Yeah, that whole I want a stable organization and I want a playoff team is out the window. He just visited the Titans and now he's spending 2 days in New England.
I don't get that. Like, those are your first 2 stops. I don't understand the logic in that.
I think he quickly realized he's going to have to open his net up and not just, the Chiefs have the least amount of money in the league. Buffalo is not far behind. The Browns, they have some money, and the Browns make a whole lot of sense with Deshaun Watson. Got a really young receiving core. They got Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman behind Amari Cooper. It's not a bad group, but adding DeAndre Hopkins, who's already familiar with Watson, would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and he would honestly, I still think he'd be better than Cooper on that roster. I think that he's the priority guy in that spot.
But yeah, this time of year, there's not a lot of money, and so these. The right. Cardinals did him no favors by making him wait versus if you cut him earlier on or make him a June 1st they have a market. But after the draft and after free agency, everybody's already spent their money. And then what I read was the Odell Beckham contract really screwed up the plans because DeAndre Hopkins, they wanted to offer him less money or try to split the money somewhere. When OBJ got paid, then Hopkins was like, "No, I want that."
Well, I mean, deservedly
that's
so.
Fair.
Right? I mean,
that's fair. The guy that was off for a year.
Yeah, it shifted the market for sure.
So Carolina or the Bears are going to come offer him a bunch of money, correct?
They could.
I mean, yeah, both those teams have the most cap space. I mean, why not, right?
I heard he was talking to Houston.
Yeah, right.
Houston, what? And don't get me wrong, I would love him to come to the Bears, but I don't think it fits what he's looking for still. At least with high confidence, at least, the word around the league, I don't think that everyone sees them as a contender. I'm a degenerate Bears fan, so of course I'm going to say good things about them, but is that the vibe in the NFL locker rooms right now? Oh, we got to worry about the Bears.
Wow. We'll see.
So I started off Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, and DK Metcalf. How are we looking, boys?
I took Ramondre Stevenson just now, so that has Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, and Ramondre.
Nice.
Going the Dynasty roster with Garrett Wilson and Bijan Robinson.
Back in them young boys.
Well, I thought about Saquon Barkley. He got a lot of touches last year. A little concerned about that. I did think about Jonathan Taylor, but Bijan – He's got the full 3-down skill set. We're going to go with it, and I think it's a little bit more of a odd lineup.
I'm okay with drafting Bijan at ADP. I really don't have any issue with it. Honestly, I still feel like he is, a top 3 candidate to just get 300 touches. If I'm picking 3 guys to get 300 touches this year, it's probably CMC, Bijan, and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Touches or carries?
Touches.
I mean, I think there could be more than that with 300 touches.
Let's keep the list going. Who else we got?
Well, Josh Jacobs, first off, I think he can do 300 touches
fair.
Again.
That's fair.
Hold on. Let me think. Some teams here. It depends if Pollard's back. I think they could give him 300 touches. Not that they would want to, but
yeah,
I mean, who else do they really have confidence in that backfield right now, unless they add somebody? I mean, I kind of feel like
give it to the deuce, baby. Give it to the deuce.
Stop it.
Yeah, Mike Clay has him for almost 300 touches. The next guy behind him is Ronald Jones. Unfortunately, your boy Deuce, I think, was 4th or 5th on the list behind
Malik Davis. Yeah, there you go.
But there's just Kareem Hunt is going to go somewhere and just crush somebody's dream of that, handcuff or whatever. You got Leonard Fournette out there, Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
I mean, James Conner,
Yeah,
300. I don't know about Conner to 300. I think he gets a lot of touches, but I don't know about 300 for him. Even at his age, I just don't think they do that. I think they'd get. They still have Keontae, Dave.
Yeah.
I could see him. I mean, not being a huge workload guy, but getting some love. Getting some touches.
Najee
Ingram is interesting.
I would love, dude. No one would love Najee getting 300 touches more than me, but
Yeah.
There's something with that Jalen Warren. I'm having dreams about him, literally.
Alexander Madison, I know you don't agree with that. I think he can get to 300. Damian Pierce as well, another guy I think can get to 300.
I think they're going to use your boy Singletary. You've been talking him up.
I do like Singletary too, but I mean, I think Pierce is the guy, right? I mean, he's going to get 80%.
Did you put Bijan in that list?
Yeah, I said mine was Bijan, CMC, and Derrick Henry. Those are if I was betting, like if I had to bet somebody 3 players to hit 300 touches, those would be the 3 I'd pick.
Yeah, there's just not a lot, but people look at it and they think that someone has to get 25 touches to be like a good running back. And you really just need between 15 and 20. I mean, obviously you want to have more, but as long as and targets are like, that's weighted value. A target is worth 2.5 times a carry. So in your PPR leagues, so you're going to want those guys that get 10 to 15 carries and then 5 to 8, targets or catches. And that's where you get your big guys.
Yeah.
We got Fantasy Football Garage asking what we think about Ramondre if Dalvin went to New England. I mean, obviously that's a hit for sure. But I mean,
it would be awful. I mean, honestly, like that would probably drop Ramondre back a little bit towards like J.K. Dobbins more in the rankings for me.
Yeah.
So dropping him probably 7-8 spots.
Yeah, I just couldn't see that. I think that they would go with more like a hammer. Whether it's Zeke or Fournette, someone that's doing a little bit more of the dirty work. Ramondre's a big dude, and he can do both, which is really nice. But I think that Pierre Strong and Kevin Harris both showed that they got something last year. They both look good in limited playing time. And the Pats need receivers.
Yeah. Pang Davis here says, how do you guys stay focused doing this? The adrenaline, man. Adrenaline rush.
Fantasy endurance athlete.
I am going to make that shirt up. I talked to Jake about making those shirts up so that so we can have some. So definitely going to be
instead of the gym tan laundry.
That's right.
I put a Facebook post to put best ball on a bike.
If my wife wasn't pregnant, I would smoke a cigarette while doing this too, just for the degen status.
Well, I may or may not have had a brownie before this show. So.
Nice.
You say a brownie?
Yeah. She cooked brownies.
Like, oh, nice. Oh,
you want this? I'm like, yeah.
Hold on. When I make this pick, Dave, I have some questions for you about some of these rookies that came in, rookie running backs. Let's see what I want to do here. So Ramondre, Harris, Kupp, and Olave. Don't need to take any of these quarterbacks.
Dave's excited about Montgomery. I'm excited about Jahmyr Gibbs. Some high draft stock they spent on him. Swift and Jamal out the door. Like, I got to imagine that, there's going to be a pretty even split, at least to start for him in Montgomery. Like, inclusion in the passing game, maybe a little bit more. I mean, Monty catches balls and he's a brute. He's actually a lot stronger than people think, but
yeah,
rookie running backs, they got fresh legs, baby. Those are the guys they're willing to give all those touches to. So I'm excited about Gibbs
for sure. But Gibbs is also, he's slider in frame. He'll probably, get more of the kind of like Kamara and Ingram type of a deal.
That's what I'm hoping.
He came in 199. I think he's up to 205 or something like that. He's, but they're not going to be running him. And speaking of rookie running backs, a guy that, might come up, I just think Devin A-Chain has been, overdrafted in rookie drafts. And I could be totally wrong, but there's just people that are just salivating over the landing spot. And, it's just very rare to see a running back under 190 pounds be a top 12 fantasy running back. It's happened before, but it's just very rare. And I think that Dalvin Cook's a prime spot. But Mike Clay's projections, the reason we've been going through the projections. Don't
say the name. I know what name you're going to say. Save it till later.
Okay.
I know exactly who you're going to talk about.
But I went through the projections, and the fact that Devin A-Chain was only projected for 70 points, I'm like, Brad, let's use this on the show because I think that's going to throw some people off when they look at it. And it's just one guy's projections. I think Mike Clay's got pretty good name value, but definitely would make people think when they look at that and say, because I put a post, how many touches does Devin A-Chain get? And a lot of people were like 10 to 15 high value touches. I'm like, oh, you're really high on Devin A-Chain, aren't you?
Yeah. I don't know about all that. I mean, I think you get some inclusion. It's an offense that is built around speed, and he's fast. I don't think that they're going to be willing to just keep a fast player on the sidelines, but that doesn't mean he's going to dominate touches.
I can tell you in these drafts, since the Cook release, the Devin A-Chain hype has dropped a little bit. I see him falling a little bit in these drafts. So I think people realize that the Dalvin Cook steam is real there. But without Dalvin Cook going there, you do really think that there's a chance that he just is a flub at let's see, he's currently being off the board RB 39.
I mean, it's worth the risk at that point. But like in rookie drafts and Dynasty, they're taking him at 109, 110. So in this, it's worth the upside pick, because if he hits, he could be a monster hit. But I just think he's going to be an inconsistent play, which could benefit you in best ball. But he's not going to have the volume to be able to offer a lot of week ones. He might have RB1 finished one time this year, where he has a whole bunch of wide receiver 5s and 6s, because he touches the ball 5 times and lets you take it to the house on a 60-yard, play. It's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about one of my favorite running backs that when you and Brad did the player profiles, somebody I really fell in love with was Zach Charbonnet. So talk to me about him in Seattle. What do you expect for him? Do you think like the gap or the split is going to be about like 60-40? What do you think his usage is? Because he is currently being drafted as RB 32.
Yeah, I think that offense gave some Dynasty folks some nightmares with JSN and Charbonnet. And I think Charbonnet is going to, he's going to offer the goal line. And Pete Carroll's, he's used one running back, not exclusively, but a lot in his career. But in college, he used 2. And so he had, Lendell White, Reggie Bush, had some other players. And so, a lot of the short yardage, I think, is going to go to Charbonnet. And then he does offer the ability to catch the ball. So it's not that he's going to be exclusively, but I can see him being the goal line guy. And, really the big play guy is Ken Walker. So a 60-40 split, but you're seeing some high volume touches with him getting, 15 to 20, red zone carries, or, even 10 goal line carries.
Okay. Yeah. And that's kind of what I was thinking too, is that he's going to be more of the goal line back, if anything, which on Underdog is very valuable because of half-point PPR. I think that kind of tends to lean towards, touchdown scores as opposed to guys who catch a lot of passes, out of the backfield. So I like that answer. The other, I mean, you already talked about Devin A-Chain. That was somebody I was going to ask about. The other one, though, that I'm very interested in is Kendry Miller. Let's just say Kamara's on a 6-game suspension. What's your thoughts on Kendry Miller with the Saints?
Yeah, that would open things up for him for sure. I think Miller is more of a 2024 play right now. They got Jamal Williams on a 2-year deal. Kamara's on, he's not going to be the guy, but, an injury or something. So he's someone that it would take an injury or a big suspension to do anything for him. So I like him, but more, that's a risky pick.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough with Jamal Williams and Kamara both there when healthy. That's going to be a very not middled group. Those top 2 guys should get touches. I would certainly feel like quality touches.
If Kamara was to be out the entire year, because obviously that is still unknown. We have no idea what's going to happen with that yet. I am just guessing.
I'm not winning $3 million. I'll tell you that.
So Kendry Miller currently going as RB 44. Where do you think he falls in the rankings if, let's say, tomorrow, Kamara gets suspended for the entire year? So it's only him and Jamal Williams. Where do you think he fits in?
Oh, then it'd be, in the 30s, be like top 25 to 35, in that range. But I think Jamal Williams still, because of what he did last year, is going to have significant. I think he would be the guy that ADP would go after. And then it would be Kendry Miller. So you'd see Jamal Williams as top 20 running back. Then he'd be in like the 30 to 35 range.
Okay.
And then you got to take Taysom Hill absolutely at ADP.
I know I talked to you privately about Roschon Johnson. I think Bruni and I are both kind of more in on Roschon than yourself. But if you want to talk to the people a little bit about Roschon, I think that's a a running back I see a lot of people talking about that get excited for, and maybe you want to just drop him down a little bit here.
Super hard.
And he's a hard one because I like Roschon. And so when you got to argue against a guy you like, it's tough because, like, I don't dislike him. I just think that, you can't overlook Khalil Herbert and what he did last year. I mean, he had a nice stretch where he was a top 10 running back during that stretch. You also have Deonta Foreman, who's been a good running back 2 years in a row. And those guys are veterans. And, I do think that Roschon Johnson is a potential, starting running back. But I also think you have a four-headed monster back there in Chicago with Justin Fields, Deonta Foreman. And there's just there could be some spreading it out versus like Roschon being the guy. In the future, maybe. Deonta Foreman's on a 1-year deal. And Khalil Herbert's a free agent in 2 years.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, it kind of sounds like you're maybe doubling down, on Roschon in the future, just not right now. Speaking of doubling down, this episode is brought to you by Edge Boost. It's supported by Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the world's first bet now, pay later Visa card. Edge currently offers up to $2,500 in betting advances, which can be extremely a valuable tool. Imagine what you can do with an increased bankroll. Get down on some of your favorite futures without tying up your bankroll for months. Double down on a favorite bet you like, or even use to create an awesome middle or even hedge. Edge Boost isn't some sleazy loan shark, as they charge zero interest. Do you know of a way you can access more money to place on your favorite bets without paying any interest? Edge Boost can also be a part of a responsible gambling plan, as you can set up daily, weekly, monthly limits across all your betting accounts in one place. Support SGPN and grow your bankroll by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to sign up. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge. Must be 21 years or older to use problem gambling. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sorry to interrupt, but you're on the clock, bud.
Yeah.
I definitely missed my pick. I got Swift as my auto.
Oh, damn. That's not a bad auto, I guess. There you go, Zach Charbonnet. Speak of the devil and he shall appear.
Yeah. I saw him sitting there and I was like, you know what? We just talked about him. Might as well do that.
Duck it.
So one more rookie running back that I need to know a little bit about, because I'm not a personal fan of the RB1 on the team. And I just want to get your thoughts on if you think this guy can potentially overtake him or work more of a 50-50 split than people think. And that is Tank Bigsby. I'm not a fan of ETN. I was last year, but I think that this regime did not draft him. They now drafted Tank Bigsby. I think he can potentially get the goal line work because he's a bigger back. What are your thoughts on the Tank himself?
Yeah, I think Tank Bigsby's a good back, and he's an SEC back. And you talk about the goal line touches. He's not going to siphon off any of the passing work. He had a few receptions in college, and the offense really didn't throw the ball to him. But he also just he didn't run a lot of routes and things like that. So I think he could be. He can be someone that gets some of the goal line touches and some of the short yardage from ETN. ETN is not really built, and not really many running backs are built for 20 plus touches. And last year he got 20 plus touches a couple games and he started to break down. He also previously has a foot injury, Liz Frank injury that you don't want to mess with. So Bigsby's definitely someone I scooped up him a lot because, people were kind of fading him early and then people were starting to smarten up to it. But yeah, he was a mid to late second round running back. And it felt kind of like when you were getting Rachaad White last year in your rookie drafts.
Nice.
Okay. Good. Justin, you got any questions? I'm just throwing out all my questions here, Dave.
Oh, no. I was just letting you go after it. Get to it, son.
Yeah.
I know you need the dynasty help, so that's good. That's good. Get all your stuff out there.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Two interesting running backs are Eric Gray and Chase Brown. So,
hopefully nobody from the SGPN Dynasty thing is watching this, because I have Eric Gray queued up and I'm 4 picks away. So hopefully nobody's watching this.
Yeah, I think they said Matt Breida is the number 2 to Saquon. We have Saquon stuff. He also has a history of injuries. Eric Gray can catch the ball. And I think that's one of the things that separates him. He's one of the best pass catching backs. So PFF graded 2 backs in the class last year with top 10 rushing and receiving, Zach Charbonnet and Eric Gray.
Nice. He was a 4th round pick for me. And in another league, I was just able to pick him up for free.
Yeah. He did run a slow 40. And so he's not a very, he's not as, he's not explosive as some of these other players. But yeah, I definitely, I like Eric Gray. And I said, Chase Brown is just interesting. We've seen a lot of times where the Bengals have used someone on 3rd downs. He had almost 400 touches last year for Illinois. It was crazy. But this guy has some real serious speed.
He's strong too. He's got a good build.
Yeah, he's yoked up. He at the Senior Bowl, he had his jersey tucked in his pants. He was trying to show off the quads. He's a pretty built guy, and I definitely
Joe Mixon don't want no smoke in the shower. I'll tell you that.
Well, and you speak of a guy that also could get suspended. Joe Mixon has potential suspension looming, and so Chase Brown could be there. Mixon gets hurt or anything.
We had Mike Robb in the chat asking about who we thought the Jokic was of the NFL. I mean, it was right around the Taysom Hill reference if we want to just stick to that. But, I mean. Kelsey, wow.
I mean, you're looking at a guy like I threw up forced missed tackles, and he's got 20 more than the next guy. And so I saw Tracy McGrady talking about it and who could Karl Anthony Towns do what Jokic does, or could Joel Embiid? Like, these are really good players. Like that's TJ Hawkinson and Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
They can't do what Travis Kelce does.
Where do you have Travis Kelce in your dynasty rankings? Curious.
Me?
Yeah.
He's tight end 2.
Okay.
And I
so
just
you're in for him
based
sticking
on
around.
values. Yeah.
Nice.
I think 2 more years. He's just a stud.
So I want to flip you over here to wide receiver rookie rankings a little bit. 2 guys that I am probably more higher on than the average bear. Tell me if I'm crazy on either of these or if these are good bets. Would be Nathaniel Dell and Puka Nacua.
Yeah, Nacua is interesting because there really is nothing in the Rams behind Van Jefferson. 5 touchdowns on the ground last year. So he's, he can be used as kind of a gadget guy. He's big, thick dude. He's a fun player. Dell, I just don't know. I just don't trust someone that's that little. We've seen guys like Tutu Atwell get the really good draft capital, and we're like, and he was uncoverable. I mean, he was uncoverable at the Senior Bowl. But then, what's the dude from the Pittsburgh Steelers that was uncoverable at the Senior Bowl the year before? Calvin Austin. He was uncoverable. Everybody was like, this guy's the best guy on the field. And, I mean, we didn't see anything last year, kind of injury. We'll see what he does this year. The height supremacy. I'm also short. So just, I am Jenny from the league, I guess.
That's funny. I'm speaking of yoked up. I'm yoked up on Jacksonville Jaguars right now.
Ooh. All right, Justin, let's see. Jacksonville Jaguars. Who do they play week 17? Tell me.
I don't know.
Come on, Carolina. Be better than that.
I didn't know. I ain't
nice.
gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to people.
Get your Terrence Marshall in. All right, that's somebody also that I like a lot this year because he's going all but undrafted in these drafts. But he could be the number 1 wide receiver.
I have enough DJ Shark in the big board. I'll be fine.
Tell me about the average Bears.
Yeah, people sometimes don't understand that reference when I just say average Bears.
Sorry.
Self-hating highest.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Let's just
Appreciate you, Davis.
Yeah, let's just say there's not many people his size that have done it. So I'm just gonna go with.
Man, everyone just loves to dismiss my Tariq Cohen his rookie season. The littlest bear of all.
He likes Terrace Marshall.
I am not a big Terrace Marshall guy, but I like the theory. I like the theory of it. I like, digging deep, trying to galaxy brain things and trying to create different realities. I mean, that's what we have to try to plan for here.
Yeah.
We have to be unique in our rostering.
Well, they had to get some big receivers because their quarterback, speaking of small, but Jonathan Mingo, Terrace Marshall, that's pretty good size.
Yeah.
Add Hayden Hurst to that group. I mean, Thielen's not super tall, but he's tall enough.
Yeah, to be in the NFL, I guess.
They got Laviska Shenault.
This tall. Oh. Where are we
at here? Let's see. Davis says Dave's dream job is to be the roller coaster person where he can tell people they aren't tall enough.
That would be a fun job. I'm not gonna lie. Like that definitely beats out Walmart greeter.
Oh man, just destroying kids' lives. You're just like, oh man, you made it all the way through, and I ain't gonna let you ride this.
Did you guys see that? Like the one TikTok creator did a video where he was adding stuff to the bottom of his kids' shoes to get them to pass rides, and then I liked the guy before because he did all those Chick-fil-A videos where they were training Navy SEAL treatment for Chick-fil-A employees. It was super funny. Yeah, he's I
gotta check that out. That's
he's
awesome.
doing push-ups in the rain. He's like, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. My pleasure. My pleasure."
I love it.
Let's see. Mike Robb in the chat says, I know Knox got injured today, but I have about 50% Knox with about 40%-ish drafts deep. Is it too crazy or cool because he is rounds 13 through 16 pick at times? I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, you're getting him as one of the last tight ends drafted off the board. And again, we just talked about this the other day. I think it's absolutely absurd that this man is going as late as he is because he is the starting tight end for the Buffalo Bills. So I think it's completely fine. I mean, honestly, even with a slight injury, I mean, it's not going to scare me off at his cost currently.
It wasn't anything significant. I mean, was it? I didn't see this.
I don't believe so. To my knowledge. Mike Robb, you wanna update us here? Because I honestly hadn't seen too much. I saw there was a little blurb that said he got injured, but it didn't say anything devastating.
Well, it's June 13th, so I mean, we have time. Most of these guys don't want to be in mini camp and OTAs anyways.
It's true. Oh God, I'm getting to that point where
he saw what was going on with Diggs, and he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna chill like this, dude.
At this point,
it's gonna happen anyways. Get it done now. Get it out of the way. Get it out of the way.
Damn, I was really hoping Kincaid was going to make it back to me. I was just going to take him.
Damn. Recency. Stream sniped.
Tisk. If this guy doesn't take my Davis pick, here it is. Davis, if you're watching, this is for you, buddy.
Mike Thomas? Oh, Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Close enough. I think Mike Thomas won already.
I almost took Mike Thomas, and then I laughed at myself and said, don't you dare.
Stop. Davis, if you're still listening, we have been accused of colluding our takes, just so you know.
So, Dave, give us go ahead, Justin. Fill him in.
What's up?
What's the collusion?
Oh, it was just I like Mike Thomas. He likes Mike Thomas. I don't even remember the other ones, to be honest with you, but Andrew was telling me in the last episode that was the case. Yeah,
they might as well share a draft board because they draft the same guys.
I don't mind. Davis is a smart cat.
He does seem to be. So, Dave, give us some picks. It doesn't have to be rookies. You can talk about regular guys. Give us some picks that you are just completely fading this year. I would say try to make it guys that are middle to latest round picks. But is there anybody that you're truly off of that you want no part of?
I have not thought about that, and I haven't been doing any too many drafts that weren't rookie drafts recently. So, I mean,
any rookies that outside of A-Chain that you're kind of they're probably going way too high in these drafts.
Yeah, I mean, Rashee Rice is another one. I just think people fall into the narrative, and so he's getting overdrafted. And so it's not that I dislike the player; I just dislike the value. Kind of the same with Kadarius Toney.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, we can play that game, but you can also just, like, take other options and not worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
So okay, you know what? Let me rephrase the question here to you. So Jaden Reed, coming up in the next round here, Jaden Reed and Marvin Mims are both going. Who's your best bet between those two to make more of an impact this year?
yeah, it's like asking me to pick my favorite kid. I like both those guys. I mean, let's be honest. Like, rookie receivers have done really well, and I don't have huge expectations this year for either of those guys. But I would take Jaden Reed this year. I like both players a lot. And I think, Sean Payton has always had that kind of like Devery Henderson, Lance Moore, that type of player that Marvin Mims is. But I think Marvin Mims is better than that. I think he is a complete player, but he averaged like 20 yards a catch last year. This guy is just a big play machine. So I think he's a really fun player. But Jaden Reed, I mean, I think you saw how high he was drafted. So we were talking on the show, and I said, two guys that are going to be drafted higher than anyone thinks is going to be Jonathan Mingo and Jaden Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And so
You're on the board, by the way.
Oh,
it can happen.
Sorry, yes, I don't want you to miss your pick. It has happened to us.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
You guys took Davis's comment off. I was waiting my turn to speak, and I just wanted to tell Davis, I see you. I see you. I wish I could say it in Navi, but I'm not fluent.
Yes, you're going to be next up again. We might as well just wait for you to continue your read versus. I did see while you were talking, Jaden Reed did go. So let's.
Yeah.
Alak Maktoha. See, my Dothrock is a lot better.
Mims is still on the board.
He is. That is. That's interesting. It is sitting right there. Of course.
Yeah, I like both those players. I think Mims, he does offer some upside, but I don't know what that offense is going to look like. I think it's going to look better.
Damn you, Dave.
Sean Payton almost always has a top 10 offense. He did a nice job fixing the offensive line. And then Tim Patrick comes back. Javonte Williams comes back. Cortland Sutton's, another year off the ACL.
Yeah. While you picked there, you took your fourth tight end. That is a interesting strategy with 18 rounds here. And 2, you took the tight end I was going to take. So thanks for that. You messed up my Derek Carr stack. Damn you.
Yeah. I will say it is a little harder to pay attention while you're doing all this. But I missed the DeAndre Swift pick. I may have missed another pick. I don't even know. But I was like, instead of just I'm looking at tight ends, and one of the things that you look at for tight ends, I want to see yards per reception and air yards.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these tight ends get 60 targets, 70 targets, and then you see like 3 forced missed tackles, no yards after the catch, and 10 yards per reception, and like that's just not going to get you many points. And so like Gerald Everett and Jawan Johnson, they had a lot of tight end 1 finishes last year. Because they get targeted down the field, they get valuable targets, and it might only be 4 or 5 targets, but they get two end zone targets and 1 30-yard shot. I'll take that over Hayden Hurst getting 7 targets at 5 yards a clip.
So with that mindset of how many tight end 1 finishes they can have in a year, where are you currently ranking my boy Chig?
Yeah, Chig is interesting. I have him at tight end 15. And I think, you look at tight end 8 to 20, there's a big clump of guys, but he's another one. He had a very high yards per reception, and his air yards were good. He does look to be the second target on the team right now. And so Chig could be moving up. If they don't make any other moves, I could probably move him in the tight end 13, 14 range. I would take him over like a Dawson Knox.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely right now for sure. We've been prioritizing well ahead of Knox overall.
Is he off the board?
Who's that?
Knox?
Chig.
Oh yeah,
Chig, gone, long gone.
I took Chig at pick 116.
Yeah, long gone. We're at in the 170s.
Let's see, he's 170. I'm going to take Dawson. Oh, but Jerome Ford is there, another one of my guys, and Marvin Mims is still there. Damn it, there's so many good picks here. I'm going to take Knox just so he doesn't go off the board. I don't care about the hurt leg.
They'll be fine. I mean, they're wearing shorts, you know. I mean,
it's all right.
he probably would have been better, you know, if he was wearing, bird dogs, because, bird dogs are, stretch khaki shorts, designed to fit a slimmer, through the thigh and, through the leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. You know what I mean? Like, he would have done much better if he was just rocking bird dogs, keeping everything nice and knit and tight. These are the shorts that do the exact same thing as, Lululemon, and they fit like way better. So, and, bird dogs.
And they're not called Lulu.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, whatever, dude. Call it whatever you want. They're like $100 pants. These, bird dogs are way more affordable. They fix their issues by inventing this cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki, but it stretches, so you get that same slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement, if you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Bird Dog uses an anti-stink sweat wicking fabric. Yeah, that's right. Anti-ball smelling shorts. Keeps you cool and dry all day long. I mean, guys, get over there. birddogs.com/pool. Get after it.
Bird Dog kind of sounds like it would have been a rival show to Cat Dog back in the day.
I think you're onto something there. We need to call up Nickelodeon. I mean, I don't think they'd be interested in us. We're not like 13-year-old little boys. So It's like the Catholic Church over there.
Let's see if anybody in the chat has any questions for Dave, the Dynasty expert here at SGPN. Dave, I can't tell you how many times I've referenced yours and Brad's profile, the player profiles before, a few months ago when you guys were doing all those. I referenced those so many before I started doing all these best ball drafts just because I want to get an edge on everybody. And Justin probably got sick of me talking about how good those were. I love that they were short. They kind of got to the point of, this is what he does good. This is what he's probably going to have to work on in the NFL. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic job on those. I look forward to next year's.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we definitely wanted to go on that short form content. Not everybody's got time for an hour-long show. And so we were doing 1 hour-long show, and then we would do 5, 10-minute or 6, 10-minute clips.
Yeah, I loved those because I could just roll through them. Like if I, was driving to the grocery store and it was going to take me 10, 15 minutes, I knew I could at least listen to one, not have to stop, restart it again. So I loved that content. It was very informative, to say the least.
Appreciate it.
You guys do a very deep dive on some of these guys that I probably would never look into. And because of you, I learned a lot about some of these guys that are going way late in drafts.
Yeah, it was interesting. We actually picked pretty well in regards to like how draft capital landed, but like Sean Tucker and Rakim Jarrett were 2 misses. Yeah. Both those guys went undrafted. I was, a little disappointed in that. I know Sean
Tucker's with Tampa Bay though, no?
Both of them are with Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So you got somewhat of a path to touches at least.
Yeah, and both are with Tampa Bay, and then Zach Evans and Dwayne McBride both were a little bit lower. I don't think we actually did a McBride one.
But Zach Evans had a great landing spot though.
He had a good landing. He definitely had a good landing spot. And Dwayne McBride now has a decent landing spot. No. A guy that I'm trying to see if he's on the board still. Actually, I think he just went.
Chase Brown.
No, I wanted Ty Chandler.
Oh, Chandler's probably still there, I'd imagine.
I think he's gone. I think he's starting to creep up in ADP.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, pick 195.
I didn't see.
Oh, no, it couldn't be 195. Sorry, he went 183.
Yeah, so Ty Chandler's a rookie from last year, North Carolina, ran a 4.38. He's got some speed, got a little bit of a, he was the guy that took over the backfield after, Javonte Williams. And so he didn't get as much, shine.
Mm-hmm.
It was, Javonte Williams and Michael Carter and then him. But he definitely he's interesting when you look at, the guys, whether it's you have Dwayne McBride, Alexander Madison. Madison's going to get a lot of touches, but he's not going to get all of them. And Chandler's got a decent pass catching ability. So Dwayne McBride, I got to interview him at the combine. He's not a very talkative guy. All he kept telling me was he can catch. And unfortunately, the stats said differently. But I mean, it's another offense that didn't. He did have a pretty good answer. I said, so people are going to ask why the low production as far as the receiving game. And he was like, I ran for 170 yards a game. We didn't have to pass the ball.
Smart man. Smart man. He's good at math.
That was that was definitely his best answer. He also had Debo on his name card. It was Debo McBride on his name card.
I love it. Why was I just able to get Kyler Murray so late? I mean, I still expect him back this year. He just went 30 picks, I think, after ADP.
I don't know. He's not good.
Oh, come on now. Stop that. Stop that.
No, it's good value. I saw that too, sitting there. I'm like,
what the fuck? No, I was like, what the duck? Like
the Cardinals fantasy stretch, playoff stretch is just daunting. Like that is not something I'm looking to actively try to put on my team. As like, do you know who they play?
I don't, but I mean, it's June.
Yeah,
things are going to change.
Understandable, but I mean, the schedule's not changing. It's San Francisco, not great. Chicago, okay, that one's okay, but the big one, Week 17, is Philadelphia. Philadelphia is going to absolutely murder them unless they sit the entire team.
Yeah,
I mean, is that likely? I think it could be.
It could be, yeah. But I mean, again, like last year, the reason the Eagles were so good and had such a,
there was
a
defense,
lot of wins come along.
Right.
Yeah, but they also had the second easy schedule. This year, they do not. So I don't think the Eagles are going to be leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else at that point.
Gotcha. I don't know. I think they're still a level above their division, so I think they should be fine.
Well, I don't know. There was a team that came in and beat them when they were undefeated on Monday night.
That's true. You're not wrong.
Let's put that out there. We need to remember Washington.
Keep in your pants, Andrew.
Listen, I was way excited. I was more excited this past time than when they beat the Eagles or the Steelers on Monday Night Football, the undefeated Steelers a few years ago. But we got to remember that next time Washington plays somebody on the road on a Monday night and they're undefeated, we need to put the house on them. They just happen to win those games.
Understood. Duly noted. So,
Dave, we're going to be coming up here to the end of the draft. Anything else that you wanted to hit on? Any of these other rookies that maybe we haven't talked about that are going maybe undrafted that you think should be in the mix for things here? Damn it. Who just took Puka? Come on, man. Son of a...
Really quick, because I knew Dave was going to fire this name off earlier. Go ahead and talk about my last pick that I just made.
Yeah, so Jeff Wilson, Mike Clay has him projected to be the RB1 currently for the Miami Dolphins. Dalvin Cook goes over there, that'll change. But Jeff Wilson right now is someone that is just a steal in every format, and he's been productive when he's healthy. The problem is he just doesn't stay healthy. But he definitely is someone that, people should be looking at and keeping an eye on because, we talked about A-Chain. He's getting all the shine. Raheem Mostert definitely is kind of the bigger name. Jeff Wilson's just the cheapest. And when you look at muddled backfields like in the past, that's how you landed guys like Cordero Patterson, where you get the cheapest guy. And even if it's a miss, you didn't pay that much.
I've been scooping up a lot of them, so I didn't want you to peep his name and then we get sniped. And I got him in the second to last round, which is probably the latest I've ever gotten Jeff Wilson.
If I didn't ignore receiver forever, I would have taken him. But I just forgot about receivers for a while. And I'm like,
yeah, they're important. They're important.
So that's where I got too many tight ends.
Chosen Anderson, baby. Ooh, off the board. Chosen is chosen. I am going to be taking, as long as MT Revolt here doesn't snipe me with Mr. Tannehill, I will be taking my third quarterback and Mr. Ryan
Matt,
Tannehill.
I couldn't get Isaiah Hodgins. I think, Hodgins is a guy we joked around last year about, and he hit. The Giants leaned on him a lot, and there's a lot of jokes about the Giants and getting all those little receivers. He's a big one. And so Darius Slayton and Isaiah Hodgins are obviously the outside guys for the Giants. I don't think Jamison Crowder might not even make the roster, but they got, Sterling Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot. You got Jalen Hyatt as your speed threat, and you got Paris Campbell to do all the underneath stuff. It's going to be a different offense this year, but I do think Hodgins could potentially lead the team in targets minus after Darren Waller.
Go tell our boss that.
Yeah.
Kramer?
Kramer's not on Hodges.
No.
He keeps coming at us. I can't give any more giant love than I can for Saquon and Isaiah, but I still have to be redacted on it.
Well, maybe Kramer and I will have to have an over-under bet this year.
We've tried.
Well, we I guess we have one. I don't think it's been clarified. But...
Yeah.
All right, let's do some team reviews here.
Yeah, Dave, you are the guest. Why don't you read off your team? Tell us a little bit of about what you like about it, what you may have done differently.
I may or may not have tossed the phone. So
okay. Here, how about I'll read your team off for you. So let's see. At quarterback, you have Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, and Jared Goff. Running backs: Bijan Robinson, J.K. Dobbins, Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, Josh Kelly. Wide receivers: Garrett Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, Deontay Johnson, Khalil Shakir, Darius Slayton, Tim Patrick. Tight ends: TJ Hawkinson, Greg Dulcich, Gerald Everett, and Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, I think if I could take a pick back, it'd be Dulcich and try to get some more depth at running back or receiver, but pretty good with the squad. I think, having a good tight end is a difference maker, and I was very close to getting Kelsey, but I didn't. And so I definitely had my eyes on Hawkinson, and then those other tight ends just kind of fell in my lap.
Yeah, you're going to need the tight ends to fill in some flex weeks potentially, but tight ends can score multiple touchdowns probably at a higher rate than some receivers, so don't hate it.
Yeah, I love your first three wide receivers, the Garrett Wilson, Jeudy, and Deontay Johnson. Absolutely love that. Wilson can explode this year. Jerry Jeudy actually was, I think, ranked 5th or 6th amongst his team's red zone targets in the entire NFL. So love that pick. And of course, Justin and I, our team, Deontay Johnson, that man cannot possibly get that many targets again and not score a touchdown. So we think he can potentially have a Miles Sanders-esque return year where, 2 years ago, Miles Sanders didn't do very well, no touchdowns. Last year, erupted for double digits. So we think Deontay Johnson has the ability to do that. Absolutely love that pick.
Yeah, I would also love if DJ also had 1,200 yards this year as well, like Miles Sanders just had.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I just had an article come out today, 17 comeback players. A few of those players did end up in my roster. Swift by accident, J.K. Dobbins, and Deontay Johnson on purpose.
Nice.
I think Johnson is definitely a positive regression candidate, and he is the number 1 receiver for the Steelers.
If you guys are looking for some betting odds too, Swift, very low yardage. I think it's like right around 600 or 580 on his season yardage. Wow. He's hit that in 1 out of 3 seasons, and that was the season that he was healthy. But Deontay Johnson, just the same, 825 receiving yards. He's hit that 3 seasons in a row. Why would he not do it again? It's absolutely ridiculous how low the market is on these guys.
Yep.
All right, I'll do mine really quick here. I got Trevor Lawrence. You'll see a lot of Jacksonville here. Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, James Cook, Tank Bigsby, Devin Singletary, Jeff Wilson, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Christian Kirk, Treylon Burks, Zay Jones, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool, Evan Ingram, Tyler Higbee. A couple of Bear stacks, got some Tennessee stacks, got a heavy Jacksonville. What I really liked about this start, and when you're looking at starting heavy with receivers, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Christian Kirk, my top 3 receivers all have late ADP quarterbacks to stack with. That's something that you want to look for. You don't want to look for necessarily your top target that you have to run immediately to and get that quarterback to stack up with them, i.e., Joe Burrow, obviously Kelsey and Mahomes is another one, but I really like that. And I didn't get those, like multiple of those guys, but I still did get Lawrence. I tried to play the ADP game with Cousins and Geno. It didn't work out.
Yeah, not a bad team. I actually like that one, Justin. Okay, so I will go over my team here real quick. Quarterbacks: Derek Carr, Matt Stafford, and Sam Howell. I do have all of them stacked up somewhere along the way. Running backs: Ramondre Stevenson, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, Zach Charbonnet, and Jamal Williams. Wide receivers: Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, Jordan Addison, Jahan Dotson, Tyler Boyd, Curtis Samuel, and Nathaniel Dell. Tight ends: Chig, Dawson Knox, and Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, I like it. Late tight end, late QB. Everything else has got to be levels up. So yes, never a problem for me. I like how you said you actually like my team. Like you hate all the other ones. Thanks, man.
No. But I mean, sometimes it's okay, it's a fine team. But this one, I actually like. I would take that one as one of my 150.
Oh, okay. All right. You want to buy this baby? How much you want to buy it for?
Buy it. I will give you $12.50.
Yeah.
Damn.
Give you $10.
I was gonna say if you put the $12.50 on top of the 25, maybe we could talk.
Sure.
But...
Okay. Right. That is not a $37 team.
A minute ago, you said it was a $3 million team.
The next show, we're auctioning off teams. Everybody,
nice
money.
Yeah, can do. I like that.
I love it. All right, we're gonna head out for the night. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate you, Davis, and everybody else in the chat. Take care. Be well. Be good. If you can't be good, I don't care. Just be good at it. We'll see you.
Good luck.